Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I am Yasir Hussain from Pakistan Studies Department, Army Public School and College, Ordnance Road. I welcome you all to APSEC's online support program. I also want to congratulate you on your promotion from first year to second year without appearing in the exams due to coronavirus pandemic. The pandemic is still increasing, unfortunately, and I advise all of you to stay at home, stay safe. During this situation, we are organizing online lectures so that you may continue your studies. This will be our first lecture of Pakistan Studies. First of all, I am going to introduce you the textbook of Pakistan Studies. Here it is. I hope so all of you have bought the textbook. In first year, you have studied Islamiyat instead of Pakistan Studies, and now in second year, you have to study Pakistan Studies in place of Islamiyat. Dear students, this is the syllabus you will have to cover. There are 10 chapters in total. Now I will let you know about the Federal Board paper pattern. Pakistan Studies paper will be of 50 marks in total, and you will have to attempt it in 2.5 hours time. The paper comprises of 3 sections. Section A is Objective 1. It consists of MCQs of 10 marks. You will have to hand it over to the invigilator in 15 minutes. Section B includes short questions. Total 11 questions will be given and you have to attempt any 8. Each part consists of 3 marks. This section has 24 marks in total. Section C comprises of long questions. Total 3 questions will be given and you have to attempt any 2. Each question carries 8 marks and total marks of this section are 16. Dear students, now we are going to start our first topic from chapter number 1, that is Genesis of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. The objectives of our today's lecture are: define the term ideology, identify the Islamic concept of nationhood, define and explain the two-nation theory. Then the last one is identify the components of the Pakistan ideology. Students, you have already studied these topics in class 9th and 10th. And I hope so you remember them as well. Here in this chapter, the name, if you can see, that is Genesis of the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Here Genesis means origin, emergence, creation. It actually originates from the word gene, Genesis. So our country Pakistan was created on 14th of August 1947, and its creation was unique because of some purpose. That purpose was Islamic ideology. Pakistan was created on the basis of ideology, which is commonly known as Pakistan ideology. Dear students, you have studied in the previous classes that most of the countries in the world got independence on racial, linguistic, or territorial basis, such as the Roman Empire, Ottoman Empire, and British Empire. Countries got independence from these empires on the basis of the reasons mentioned as race, language, territory, and wars. Although Pakistan got freedom from British Empire, but its creation is unique as it got freedom on the basis of ideology. It is the only country in the world which was created on the basis of ideology. Some people also consider Israel as an ideological state, but in the real sense, Israel was created by superpowers of their time through conspiracy and war. That's why we are not considering it as an ideological state. To understand all this, we should first know about ideology. Dear students, ideology comprises of two Greek words, idea and logos. Idea means form, pattern, thought, while logos means reason, plea, and study. It was then used in French as well in the 18th century in the political science in the meaning of science of ideas. So we can define ideology as a set of ideas or norms on which the collective ideals of a community, nation, or millet are based. It also includes the sum total of the principles set forth for the achievement of these common ideals. The Muslims follow the Islamic ideology, which simply means the way of life based on the tenets of Islam. Now, as far as the Islamic concept of nationhood is concerned, the Muslims believe that by virtue of their faith, they have a separate identity distinct from other nations of the world. This feeling of oneness among themselves, combined with the consciousness of being separate from others, is called two-nation theory. Islam is a democratic way of life, and the Muslims strongly believe in the right of self-determination for all human beings. Means independence. This principle implies that in all parts of the world where the Muslims form a sizable majority, they should be given a right to form an independent democratic state. So, following the Islamic concept of nationhood, the Muslims in India formed a separate identity after the advent of Islam there. The term Pakistan ideology means ideology of Islam. It refers to the set of beliefs and objectives which formed the basis of the Muslims' freedom struggle in South Asia. This struggle was based on the principle that Muslims and non-Muslims in India were separate and distinct nations. In an Islamic state, the non-Muslims also have equal rights. Because of this reason, the non-Muslims also played their due role in Pakistan movement. And now our constitution guarantees the protection of the rights of the non-Muslims, who are about 3% of our total population. Dear students, this is page 1 of your book, and so far we have covered this page, the definition of the ideology, Islamic concept of the nationhood, and then two-nation theory and Pakistan ideology. Dear students, now we will discuss the last topic of today's lecture, that is the components of Pakistan ideology, which comprises of Islam, democracy, social justice, equality, and fundamental human rights. We will take these one by one. First of all, regarding Islam as our religion. The religious belief of the Muslims living in the Indian subcontinent was the first and the foremost motivating force behind their demand for Pakistan. The Qaid-e-Azam said that the demand for Pakistan was not merely a question of acquiring a piece of land, but Pakistan was meant to be a laboratory for proving the validity and the truth of the Islamic principles. Dear students, on page 2 of your book, there is another quotation of Qaid-e-Azam regarding the guiding principles that form the basis of an Islamic state. Qaid-e-Azam said, fundamentally, in an Islamic state, authority rests with Almighty Allah. The working of an Islamic government is conducted according to the Quranic principles and injunctions. So here, Qaid-e-Azam clearly mentioned over here that the authority rests in Allah and the rule or the government will be run according to the Islamic principles and teachings. The second component of Pakistan ideology is democracy. It's a combination of two Greek words. Demos means people living in a state, and kratos means power or rule. So the modern definition of democracy is rule of the people, by the people, and for the people. In Islam, it is taken as consultation and deliberation, and these are the basis of the Islamic state and society. Democracy is promoted in an Islamic state and the rights of the people are fully protected. Dear students, on page 2 of your book, you can see a quotation of Qaid-e-Azam regarding democracy, in which he was addressing to the people of the United States of America in a radio message. And he was explaining to them the system of an Islamic state is based on democratic principles. Here you can read this quotation. Dear students, the third component of the Pakistan ideology is social justice, equality, and sense of responsibility. In Islam, all human beings are equal without any discrimination. Islamic system emphasizes on establishment of equality and justice, and then the balance between the rights and duties is important in Islamic state regarding the sense of responsibility. As far as the equality is concerned, here you can read the very famous saying of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the Khutbah Hujjatul Wida, which is regarding the equality. Read from here. On page number 3 of the book, a quotation of Qaid-e-Azam regarding the social justice, equality, and sense of responsibility is given over there, which is actually explaining the fundamental principles of an Islamic state. And Qaid-e-Azam said, Islam has taught equality of man, justice, and fair play to everybody. We are the inheritors of those glorious traditions, and we are fully alive to our responsibilities and obligations as framers of the future constitution of Pakistan. Now, the last component of the Pakistan ideology is the fundamental human rights. Safeguarding the rights of the people was an important objective regarding the demand of Pakistan. Unfortunately, Congress was overpowered by Hindu extremists at the time when British decided to transfer powers to the Indians. Therefore, Muslims and other minorities started feeling insecure. Now, this feeling served as a strong motive force behind the Muslims' demand for Pakistan. Dear students, on page number 3 of your book, you can see the fundamental human rights. As I have mentioned earlier, that an important objective underlying the demand for Pakistan was to safeguard the rights of the people living in these areas, that is, the Muslims and the non-Muslims alike. Qaid-Azam was a great champion of human rights. Therefore, while addressing the first session of the first Constituent Assembly of Pakistan, Qaid-Azam said, "You are free. You are free to go to your temples. You are free to go to your mosques or to any other places of worship in this state of Pakistan. You may belong to any religion or caste or creed. That has nothing to do with the business of the state." We are starting with this fundamental principle that we are all citizens and equal citizens of one state. Dear students, now just let's have a quick recap that in this lecture so far we have discussed about the definition of ideology, the Islamic concept of the nationhood, the definition and explanation of the two-nation theory and Pakistan ideology, and last but not the least is that of the components of the Pakistan ideology. Now the assignment for this lecture 1, you will have to read and highlight page 1 to 3, which we have covered so far. Learn by heart the definitions and the concepts you have learned. Then you will have to answer the following short questions. These are the 3 questions given in the exercise of your book. Short questions on page number 27. First question is, what is meant by the term ideology? You can find its answer on page number 1, the first paragraph. You can read and just make it in your own words. Then question number 2, what is Islamic theory of nationhood? This is also you can find in page number 1, the second paragraph under the heading that of the Islamic concept of the nationhood. Do it in your own words and short 3 to 4 lines answer. Then question number 3, explain Pakistan ideology briefly. We have discussed this in detail as well. Its answer is also on page number 1, and check on the last paragraph. You can find its answer as well. Do all these things in your own words and try to be brief, summarize, to the point and accurate, because this is the short question. These are the actually short questions, and you will have to give a very accurate and to the point answer. Dear students, that's it for today's lecture. You are always welcome for any query regarding the lecture and the subject in the group. Anything you can ask, and do complete the assignment I have given to you. Stay at home, stay safe, don't be careless, because people are thinking that this coronavirus is nothing. Please, it is a reality. I have seen myself, couple of my very close friends suffering from this pandemic. So please avoid carelessness. Do take care of yourself and your loved ones. Take care. See you in the next lecture. Allah Hafiz.